The human brain processes about 11 million bits of information every second, but we're only consciously aware of about 40 bits. And that got me thinking about this fascinating idea of humans as living algorithms, how we're constantly processing and evolving our consciousness.
That's such an intriguing way to frame it. The gap between what we process and what we're aware of really highlights how much of our algorithm runs in the background.
You know what's fascinating? We're increasingly using technological metaphors to describe our human experience, like when we talk about downloading information or processing emotions. It's become our new language for understanding consciousness.
Well, I recently visited this tech company that took that concept to the extreme. They had these massive screens tracking everyone's wellness metrics, sleep, stress, productivity. It was like they were treating employees as a living code that needed optimization.
That's both amazing and slightly unsettling. Did people actually find it helpful? Because I've been thinking about how this drive to quantify everything might be fundamentally changing our relationship with personal growth.
Mm. Some employees loved it, said it helped them stay accountable. Others felt it reduced their humanity to data points. Really highlighted this tension between our technological and biological selves.
And that's where this quote about being a living algorithm of evolution becomes so relevant. It's trying to bridge that gap between our predictable, logical side and our messy, evolutionary nature. Ancient wisdom traditions have been wrestling with this duality for millennia.
That's such an interesting historical perspective. How do you think this modern algorithmic view compares to traditional ways of understanding consciousness?
Well, the Greeks saw consciousness as a flame. Eastern philosophies often use water metaphors, and now we're using technological ones. Each era creates its own language for exploring these eternal questions. But what's unique about the algorithm metaphor is that it captures both the systematic and organic aspects of how we grow.
That makes me think about how artificial intelligence researchers talk about neural networks, learning through iteration, kind of like how our consciousness evolves through experience.
Exactly. And studies in neuroplasticity show that our brains literally rewire themselves based on our experiences and choices. We're constantly running updates on our neural software, so to speak. Research suggests we form up to 700 new neural connections every second.
That's incredible. We're basically running the most sophisticated learning algorithm in existence, and
And here's what makes it even more fascinating. Unlike computer algorithms, we're both the programmer and the program. We're consciously participating in our own evolution, making choices about how we want to develop and grow. Some neuroscientists estimate that up to 95% of our behavior runs on automatic. But that crucial 5% of conscious choice is where our potential for evolution lies.
so in a way, being a living algorithm is really about taking control of that 5% being intentional about our programming.
Precisely. And research in epigenetics shows that even our genes respond to our conscious choices, our thoughts, behaviors, and environment can actually turn genes on or off. We're literally programming our own evolution at a biological level.
That's mind-blowing when you think about it. We're not just passive subjects in our own evolution, we're active participants.
And maybe that's the most profound implication of this whole concept. Every choice we make, every experience we seek out, becomes part of our evolutionary code. Studies show that even simple daily practices like meditation can create measurable changes in brain structure in as little as 8 weeks.
Well, that really puts a new spin on personal development, doesn't it? It's not just self-help, it's conscious evolution.
Exactly. And as we move further into this technological age, understanding ourselves as living algorithms might become increasingly important. It gives us a framework for growth that's both systematic and organic, both structured and fluid.
And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that growth isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we actively participate in.
You know what? That might be the key insight here. Whether we think of ourselves as living algorithms or use some other metaphor, the fundamental truth remains. We have the capacity to consciously direct our own evolution. We're not just running programs, we're writing them as we go, one conscious choice at a time.